Good afternoon, everybody. I hope that you had a good day so far, and I hope that I'm a good start to your next session. I guess I'll start off today by introducing myself, what I do, why I do it, and why I'm here to talk about it today. So I guess the angle that I'm going to take today is what teachers teach the students. I'm Karen, I'm 26, and along with my god sister Kirby, in 2008, we opened a charitable foundation called Karma. Karma was something that we found very fitting with our ideas and our beliefs, and so I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But as children, we were taught to give back. And so when this opportunity came along, we decided to give back. That is why Kirby and I started teaching underprivileged children English. So today I don't want to talk so much about what we do for the kids, but more about what they do for us. I think most of you probably know that there is a very, very large gap between the rich and the poor in Hong Kong, one of the largest in the world, in fact. And currently in Hong Kong, 18% of the population live in poverty. 25% of children under the age of 14 are part of that population. But being underprivileged doesn't necessarily only mean that there isn't enough food to eat or enough clothes to wear. It could also mean that, say, you are from a single-parent family home where your parent spends a lot of time working and maybe doesn't give you the attention that you might need as a child. Or maybe that there are family problems at home. All of that affects how a child grows up. And so it was important to us that we included all of these children in our classes. So after the first semester of classes, Kirby and I decided that we would throw a Christmas party for the students. They've had a long semester, and so we thought that we would organize one lesson where we would eat food, play English games, all of it done in English. And so the week before that, I went around and asked the students what they wanted to eat during this party. There was this one little boy that semester that really liked to eat French fries. And so I asked him if he always ate French fries. And surprisingly enough, he told me that he actually doesn't get to eat it much. When I asked him why, he told me that it was because it was too expensive. I think a lot of us would probably assume when a child tells you that they don't get to eat French fries much, it's because that it's unhealthy and parents don't let their children eat French fries very often. Not a lot of us would think that it was because it was too expensive. But I would also like to point out that that child, that particular little boy, was one of my star students that semester. He was very hardworking, he was very polite, and his English skills were definitely beyond his years. He was definitely a little boy that deserved to be able to eat French fries, even though he didn't really ever have the chance to. Every time I think about him, and I think about that story, it reminds me of how lucky I am to be able to eat what I want to eat, and to have what I have in my life. The little boy that I just mentioned was from a low-income family, where it was a constant concern whether or not there would be enough food on the table, and money was definitely a worry. The next little boy that I'm going to talk about, it was underprivileged in a different way. He joined our classes and unfortunately failed Form 3. When I heard about this, I was upset, obviously, a little bit angry that he didn't do better or that he didn't try harder. And so I sat down with him and I talked to him. I asked him why this had happened. I asked him how it made him feel. And I asked him what his mother had said. And he told me that he was lazy, and that he knows that that was wrong, and that he knows that he should try harder and do better, and that he will try harder going forward. But I think the most shocking thing for me was when he told me that all his mom had said when they went home was that he should try harder next year. She didn't have the time to help him with his schoolwork. She didn't have the time to even be angry that he had failed Form 3. So he went on to tell me that his teachers at school were very disappointed and very upset, as they should be, but that he knew that he can do better, and he just needs somebody to remind him of that sometimes, to care about him, support him, and to remind him that school is important. He also told me that day that I was one of the very few people that had yelled at him about this, and that he was really appreciative that I cared enough to yell. I think, as you all know, kids are kids. Whether they're rich or they're poor, no kids want to spend extra time going to class. Kids definitely don't want to spend their weekends in extra class and extra sessions. Kids want to hang out with their friends, play their video games, watch TV. And some of the kids that come to my classes are still like that. But there are others that are extremely appreciative of the opportunities that we give them. They come to class, they work hard, they come every time, and if they can't come, they call ahead of time to explain why. They do their homework and they hand it in on time. There are still weeks when I receive their homework and I am shocked at how much time and effort was spent doing something outside of school. No one makes them come to my classes. No one makes them do their homework. But they do, and they come and they pay attention because they know that they wouldn't be able to have this opportunity otherwise, that they wouldn't get this help anywhere else. And hopefully because our classes are kind of fun too. Over the years, we've taught a variety of children, most of which don't have nice things. Some of them even maybe have problems at home. There are others that worry about money for their family. All of them worry more than they should have to as children. So much that a constant theme that's in our class is, what do you want to be when you grow up? But they don't dream. They don't know what they want to be when they grow up. They just know that they want to make lots of money and be rich. But some of these kids are also some of the most hardworking, the most polite, and the most wonderful kids, happy kids that you will ever meet in your life. They teach me that you need to appreciate the things that you have, even if you don't have very much of it. I think they are the types of little children that you see that don't have very much, but they appreciate everything that they do have. They don't get a lot of opportunities, but they appreciate each one that they do get. And there are a lot of things, I'm sure, that they want, but they are very appreciative of the ones or the things that they actually do have. I find often that it's easy to not appreciate opportunities that you get all the time. And it's also harder for you to appreciate things that are available to you all the time. They remind me to appreciate all of the opportunities that are given to me and to count my blessings, and that you don't need a lot of things in order to be happy. A lot of people ask me why I work full-time and I still spend all day Saturday teaching little kids. And my answer to them is always the same. It's because they teach me every Saturday too. They teach me to be very grateful for all the things that I have, to appreciate the way that my life is, and that I don't need things to be happy. At the beginning of my speech, I said that karma was something that we found very fitting with our vision and our beliefs. So I want to explain a little bit more about that. And our vision is that we will teach these kids who will grow up and teach other kids who will also grow up to teach other kids. After our first semester, we had a lot of kids that came back for our second semester. there were also a lot of new students too. And because there were so many kids with so many different English abilities, we found it hard to be able to help each one the way we wanted to. So we got the kids that returned to help the new ones. And to be able to see them put the English skills that they learned from us to use was wonderful. But to help them, to watch them help other people because we had helped them, and to pass on what we had taught them to somebody else, that feeling was absolutely amazing. A way of thinking of karma is that you do good for somebody else, and so something good happens to you. And with that, I would like to end my presentation with one of my favorite quotes. What we do for ourselves dies with us. It's what we do for others that remains and is immortal. Thank you for listening.